I did the Ask Me Anything on the flight on Twitter, and somebody asks if you could be sitting in a room with a gun with 3 bullets with Marx, Mao, Stalin, Hitler, and Hirohito. Who are you shooting? Marx 3 times.
Absolutely, because that solves so many of the other problems.
Exactly. It solves everything except for Hirohito. Like, it solves all the other ones. The other ones just wouldn't exist.
And even he's not going to do anything on his own.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus. Hirohito was the one that decided to surrender. So, I mean,
Oh yeah, no, that was one of our primary reasons for homeschooling is I wanted my kids to have a healthy disdain for Karl Marx, and mission accomplished.
Nice.
They love Jesus and hate Marx. Like, yes.
That's parenting W.
That's my favorite. You know, if Jesus was alive, he'd be a communist. Really? Show me in the Bible where Jesus was like, you know what? The Romans should steal all your money and give it out how they see fit.
How about thou shalt not steal?
Counterpoint, he did go hungry for 40 days.
There is that.
Testing it out.
Just after 40 days decided communism wasn't for him.
No, that wasn't even communism because he did it voluntarily and only to himself.
That's true.
Oh, I love it already.
I feel like the American dad, like he's looking at the meter or whatever, like blasphemy's getting close. Let's change topics.
With homeschooling, what are you, big history buff, math?
Yeah.
What's your thing?
Oh no, not math. I hate math.
So
with
history?
a fiery passion. Yeah. So yeah. Math, or excuse me, history, theology, philosophy. Like I like that stuff. And again, it's a lot of it's more like the practical component, but no, that math was the thing that my wife and I both like subbed out to, like the co-op. It was as soon as one. And here was the other thing too. Like I remember my oldest daughter, she's like sophomore year of high school. And she's doing algebra 2, and she is hating life. And I totally get this because I hated algebra 2. It's freaking stop putting letters in my freaking math. Like I hated it.
You're gonna need it one day. No,
you're not.
I have a fucking.
don't.
She's sitting there. She's just so stressed out. I finally looked at her. I'm like, sweetheart, what do you want to do? And she starts listing off. Well, Dad, I'm thinking about these various things. I'm like, you know what? None of those require algebra 2. So you know what? This is done now, and you're a sophomore in high school. We're going to now direct your curriculum toward the things you want to do. And we always told our kids, like right off the bat, a couple of things. Was one, I don't owe you a college education. You want to go to college, you get a good opportunity. I'm not saying I won't help, but I don't owe you that, and you're not going to have that attitude.
Good.
And there's 2 things. Dreams are a wonderful thing, but they don't feed you. I said, so you got to do one of 2 things. You either got to find a dream that feeds you, or you got to find a career that allows you to pursue your dream. But your dreams are yours. They're nobody else's. They're not the government's responsibility. They're not my responsibility. They're not society's responsibility. They're yours.
What if I bitch about it on social media like a lot? Then will the government do it for me? Is that
apparently for some? Yeah, but so they had that mindset, and it was great because you could just adjust curriculum on the fly. You could do things, and I mean.
So my last 2 years of high school, I was homeschooled.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, would you like to explain what a homeschool co-op is?
Oh, sure.
So that's probably something not a lot of people
I
know.
had no idea.
Oh, okay. So homeschool co-op is generally what happens is you get a bunch of parents together and they realize that, okay, hey, like, so for instance, the kids at our homeschool co-op for a while, they got taught civics by me because I was a legislator. So I'm the one going in there and teaching them about like American government and civics and how it actually works. And they were not getting the Schoolhouse Rock version because the real version is like, I'm just a bill on Capitol Hill, but I pissed off someone on appropriations. And so now I'm going to get sent to a subcommittee where I'm going to die. Right? Like they got the real version of it. But that's what it is.
Like teacher, what?
Yeah. Oh no, they loved it because
the Schoolhouse Rock version is the way it's theoretically supposed to work.
This is how it's supposed to work.
It's great.
But that's what it was. Is you had different parents with different like either educational backgrounds or life experience, and they would come in and they would teach stuff they were passionate about.
Today we are teaching math. Okay, everyone get out.
Yeah. Hey, look, I cheered the U.S. math team when we won. Doesn't matter they were all Chinese. The point is, right? We import the best of everything, baby. All right. So, but
where are you from? America.
USA number one.
USA number one. Okay.
That was my argument on the space landing little like video I did. Somebody's like, I don't know why you're bragging that America put a man on the moon. You guys used Nazis to do it. I'm like, yeah, but so did the USSR. So fuck, penalties offset, first down. Learn how to pick the better Nazis, fucking nerds.
Sorry, you picked the wrong Nazi.
Their brains work better when you can feed them.
Yeah. Anyways, parents will sign up and you say, okay, I want this class, I want that class. Like in ours, it was 1 day a week, and they would come and it was $25 like per month for your kid to come in. And I taught economics, I taught civics, and I taught like Christian apologetics. And so you come in, that's what we did. And then the rest of the week, they're with their parents. So that's like one model of a co-op. Some do 2 days a week, whatever. But that's the nice part is it's free market. Like I would tell the parents, I'm like, look, in fact, when I was teaching them apologetics, which was largely debate, I said, I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be days where your kids might come home in tears because I'm going to play the antagonist and they're going to have to defend what they believe and they're going to have to do.
Yeah, but you didn't have to hit them.
Well, you know what? Look, how hard is it to make a correct sandwich? Anyways, the point is, because they would correct sandwich. So they would get in and debate. But here's the funny part is because it's not a government school model. Parents are coming in and I'm like, look, you don't got to take my class, but this is how I teach it. This is the curriculum. This is what I do. And parents would be like, can we watch? Like they weren't like, oh, my poor baby. They were like, can we watch you?
I'm going to make your kid cry. Can I watch?
But
that's good parenting too.
Yeah. But the great part about it is that, and we had again, the students loved it because it wasn't no participation trophies, right? You show up with a good argument, you win. You show up with a bad argument, I make you feel bad about yourself, right? And then I teach you how to make a better argument so you can feel good about yourself, right? Because winning is great and losing sucks.
You learn from losing.
You do. Mm-hmm. You do. And it's not like we were being cruel.
Learn it sucks.
Yeah. We weren't being cruel, but like that was the sort of thing. So like a parent would sign up, they'd pay their tuition, and you'd teach and they'd go home and they'd help, but that's what it was. It was great. So I didn't have to worry about parents coming in and like, well, Mr. Freitas, I'm really concerned about, I told you what this was, right? If you don't like it, your kid doesn't have to be here. But I never had a problem.
As an example, when I was a senior in one of the co-ops I was going to, physics was taught by an artillery guy.
Yeah. Holy crap.
And he like straight up would like, he knew I was into guns and shit.
Let's say there are guys we don't like right here, and I want to put white phosphorus behind them and then march gunfire towards them.
I'm dead fucking
How
serious.
fast does the plane need to be moving to drop?
You can practice.
It was not that intense, but it was basically like, all right, let's say your drop is X meters per blah, blah, blah. At this distance, what are you, how are you going to do ballistic calculations if you can't do this shit?
How did you end up designing guns for a living? I wonder.
I was building them in my garage before that, but it just happened to coincide
Let's
pretty
say
well.
you're Assad and you've got a lot of Muslim Brotherhood in Hama.
Let's just say.
Theoretically.
Oh, no.
No, but that's true. Like you can adjust your curriculum based off of your students' interest and what works, and it's awesome.
And you can teach your kids financial literacy.
Yes.
Which is like the biggest misstep that public schooling doesn't do.
Yeah,
That's by design.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, our public school system, and I call it a government school system because that's what it is.
Yep.
The thing I like to tell people, because people always look at me like, well, I said, look, do you like state-run media? Do you think we should have state-run media? Like, well, no, of course not. I'm like, okay, now do the same for education. You don't like state-run media because it's the government controlling the flow of information to its citizenry and not being able to hold it accountable. What do you think happens with government-run education?
Yes.